Port Allen, and wow, Tommy. I mean, what a roller coaster it has been for LSU baseball on the year. I mean, they have gone from the outhouse to the White House, and we'll talk plenty about LSU's miracle weekend. I mean, that's what I'm calling it, a miracle weekend. They won 4 in a row, and nobody had them winning 4 in a row after losing the opening game. We'll get into LSU. They're headed to Knoxville. We know the game time, Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2. LSU will be taking on UT in a rematch of a great series from earlier this year. Tigahs is the MVP. All of that and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts with Tommy Krysan and Ronnie Rantz, presented by LaBerge Casino. We'll roll on from Court Street Cafe in Port Allen right after this.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways with some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at LaBerge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Tommy Krysan joining us today. TK was a late night. LSU did not finish up until right after midnight over at Central Time. Well worth the wait if you're an LSU Tiger fan, Tommy. I mean, I did not see this coming. I'm glad that I was wrong. I had LSU going 2-2 this weekend. And then I questioned that after watching them in such a horrible outing against Gonzaga, where they were just didn't look like they had any energy, any fight in them, any life in them. All of a sudden, man, it's hairy against Central Connecticut State in the second game of the tournament. I'm thinking, is really Pulmonary going to go out like this, losing to Central Connecticut State? They win in extra innings and then played 3 of their best baseball games of the year in their last 3.
Wow. I mean, you talk about stressful, every pitch, tension. It was like, it was amazing. It was college baseball at its best. I mean, if you're an LSU fan, I mean, you just couldn't sit still. It was just, again, every pitch was just so magnified, so important. Pretty darn good game. On top of, look, Ronnie, let me tell you something. I'm getting a little old, but the heart's in good shape. But Ole Miss, Southern Miss, I watched that slugfest yesterday.
11 homers.
Then you got Arkansas, with the 3-run bomb on the pinch hit home run. Both of those stadiums packed. I mean, it was just amazing college baseball display. And then LSU at night, late. I'm sure Baton Rouge fans stayed awake. All LSU fans did. Just what a performance by, the team. It was a team victory. Yeah, Tigahs stood out. Other guys made their share of plays. And, Bianco ran some balls down in center field. And just, they found a way to win. We always talk about that. Find a way to win. 4 straight elimination games, they win. And, man, it's an amazing story. Maybe the Maneri magic is a real thing come May, come June. I don't know what to say other than what you said. Wow. I thought they would win this regional. I said that last week. I didn't think it would be lose 1, then win 4. But the bottom line is LSU found a way to get it done. Going to be a fun plane ride home today.
What's amazing is that LSU, as poor as the season was, I mean, look, they were 1-8.
Yes.
They did everything. It took a second game come from behind for the ages, Tommy, against Texas A&M in the second game of that series to make it to the postseason. I mean, LSU finished with 13 wins because they won games 2 and games 3 in Texas A&M. If they don't win 13 games, they don't get into a regional. If they win 12, they're not in. They were down, I think, 8-3, 7-2. I don't know, down 4 or 5 runs on that Saturday at A&M after getting, just held down, locked up for a game and a half prior, and then come back and win that game, and then all of a sudden it turns their season around. Then they lose to Georgia, and I think, well, that okay, I think they're in, but it's going to be hairy. It worked out; they got in. They looked terrible against Gonzaga. And then all of a sudden they flip some switch. And look, and what's crazy is that they're headed to the Super Regional. There have been plenty of teams in the past that were better than this team that didn't make it to a Super Regional. And the great thing about the postseason, Tommy, is that the success that they've had in the postseason almost is as if it washes away 13 and 17. It washes away the 1-8 start in the SEC. It washes away so many problems, the Jaden Hill debacle that didn't work out. It washes all that away because now they're headed to a Super Regional. And believe me, this team wants Tennessee. They are not going to be intimidated going to Knoxville. Yeah, the crowd's going to be great, but they should have won that series. They know they should have won that series. They had a lead in all 3 games and got swept. They had some unbelievable things happen. So they're excited about going to Tennessee, even though LSU fans probably wish they were playing somebody else.
Well, here's the thing. They got swept by Tennessee, but that was a 4-run differential. Run differential was 4 runs. They lost 2 1-run games, and they lost a 2-run game. So they're thinking, hey, good, okay, we got Tennessee right where we want them. Yeah, the fans are going to be nuts up there. But
and playing better.
Yeah, but this is a better LSU team, and let's not forget a lot of freshmen are doing a lot of good things on this baseball team. But they can't wait to get to Knoxville. Now they won't start till Saturday. That's good for the LSU pitching staff. That extra day means a lot. They can get everybody rested up and get to go, and then they can set a pitching plan and go try to find a way to win 2 more baseball games, and then it's off to Omaha. And who on earth in Baton Rouge would have said that 5-6 weeks ago? Nobody, not you, not me, not anybody. But the bottom line is, it's quite an amazing story. And I agree with you 100%. It washes away 1-8. It washes away Hill getting hurt. It washes away all the tinkering with the lineup, and all of that's out the way now. They're a regional champ on the road in Eugene, Oregon, and now they go to Tennessee, and even though they got swept, like you said, they want a piece of Tennessee, and it's going to be unbelievable. If you're an LSU baseball fan, you can't wait till 6 o'clock Saturday night.
It's going to be really interesting to see what Paul Mainieri does with the pitching, because knowing Paul, it took a lot for him to throw Marceau yesterday, because Marceau started on Friday and threw 7, I believe, or something like that. He started on Friday, and then so he only pitching on 2 days rest. And he threw 50 pitches or something like that, 40-something pitches. This would be 4 days rest, which would be shorter. I'd be willing to bet that Paul Mainieri goes with Marceau in Game 2 on Sunday, and so that means Labus could be healthy. It means Javen Coleman could be healthy, and maybe he goes with a combination of the 2 of them. Right? You have a quick hook. You go Labus to start. He starts to get in any kind of trouble, you go Javen Coleman, or do you show the ultimate? I don't think he would go Coleman even, because Coleman would be pitching on short rest too, considering he's went on Sunday. I don't know. There's 4 starters that LSU has for 3 games. In the sense that, I believe Coleman can give you 5. I believe Labus can give you 5. I believe Hilliard can give you 5. And we know Marceau can give you 5. You got 4 starters in theory. How he uses them is going to be really interesting. I thought Paul Mainieri, quite frankly, Tommy, got away with some decisions that I didn't agree with. If you're going to start Hilliard threw 4 innings on Saturday. You're throwing him on basically 1 day rest. You're giving him the ball. Why do you not let him pitch into the 2nd inning? This is what I've never understood when it comes to how Paul Mainieri has handled his pitching for the last 15 years. Although the Mainieri magic is an absolute real thing. Why do you pull a pitcher until it's your time to pull a pitcher? Why pull a pitcher until he proves that there's a problem? I'll give you an example. Doug Thompson years ago at Alabama or something, Coach Bertman gave him the ball and said, 1 guy. And as he was walking off when he came in relief, and when he was walking off the mound, Doug said, "What do you mean 1 guy?" So if 1 guy gets on, you're out. You're out of the game. Well, Doug pitched 7 innings before a guy got on base. who knows? I mean, Hilliard might have given you 2 or 3 innings before a guy got on base. Why do you assume he's going to screw up, especially a guy who you got confidence in? I got more confidence in Hilliard than I do Fowler or Floyd or any of the or Helmers, right? So if you're going to start him, why give him the ball? He had a good first inning, and say through the toughest hitters on the team, and say, okay, I'm going to give you the ball until you get into a jam. What is a jam? Well, that's for y'all to decide. Whether that's 2 guys on, 1 guy on, whatever. Give him the ball and say, go. If a guy gets on base, you're coming out. I mean, he might have made it to the 3rd inning. And so, and the same with Helmers, Tommy. Helmers is doing fine. Why do we take Helmers out of the game? Like, leave him in until he proves to you he needs to come out. It's just not that hard, Tommy. It's just not that freaking hard.
He did the same thing with Vetmeyer the day before that.
Yeah.
Pulled him out after one. I agree completely with you. Let the guy, go until there is trouble. But here's what's crazy. He pulls Hilliard, and then, he leaves Fowler out there and makes him wear it a little bit. Fowler was hitting the bat. I mean, they were hitting it in the gap. They're hitting it hard. And he leaves him out there longer than I thought he should. I know he had a plan. I'm sure it was well thought out. He talked to his staff. But sometimes you got to change that plan. I mean, if Hilliard, one guy got on? I mean, but he got out the inning with a goose egg on the ball.
Overcame the gut.
Yeah, he got out there.
Overcame the gut this weekend. Pulmonary's gut he must have had some bad Chinese food somewhere. A little, it had sat on the line underneath that lamp a little too long or something. Because the gut didn't work. They overcame the gut and won the regional, but the gut to put Safford in the 6 hole and Sanford in the 4 hole and the only pitch this guy an inning and take this guy out too soon and all that kind of stuff overcame the gut. But I'm glad the LSU team showed some tremendous fight, and I'm glad for Paul, man. This is a perfect way, Tommy, for Paul to go out. He announced his retirement. LSU wins a regional. They hadn't won a regional on the road since 1989. They hadn't played many regionals on the road, but they hadn't won one since 1989. And now, regardless of what happens in Knoxville, he's going to go up with his head high. Everybody patting him on the back. Great job in Oregon. I mean, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. How his career is going to end, how his career is going to end at LSU. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the staff as they move on to different jobs around the country. I mean, this is going to wash a lot of bad taste in people's mouth in a big way.
Well, and I hope they don't feel like, they've accomplished it and it's over. They got a great chance to win 2 out of 3 against Tennessee if they, they throw strikes, hit the ball, timely hit, and don't make errors, overcome the problems that you have. They got a great chance because they got confidence. Confidence is the most dangerous thing in sports. You just won 4 straight elimination games on the road, okay? Oregon's not a bad baseball team now that I've seen them a bunch. Probably a little better than I thought they were going in. So, anything can happen. I just hope that the mindset's not, okay, we made it a pretty ending for Paul Mainieri. No, it's not over yet. You've got to go play baseball starting Saturday night at 6. And, they need that Blair Barbier on the team to just yell at everybody and say, look, we've still got baseball to play. You need somebody to just grab the bull by the horns and shake all these freshmen up and whatnot. Maybe Tigahs could be that guy and say, look, we're not happy yet. We're happy, but we're not satisfied yet.
Here's the schedule is that on Friday, North Carolina State's going to play at Arkansas. And wow, Arkansas got tested, pushed to the max. It took them to the 8th inning to win that game. What the number 1 seed looked like and had to come from behind. Cops was unbelievable. Cops is the greatest college pitcher of all time, Tommy. He's having the greatest college season of all time for Arkansas.
He's got 12 wins and 10 saves in the same season. Yeah. Okay, he threw like 7,000 pitches. He threw
195 pitches, I believe, this weekend. He threw 3 different times. He threw 7 innings of shutout ball yesterday in relief. I mean, he is the reason Arkansas is the number 1. I mean, it's unbelievable. Cops is unbelievable. He is so good. NC State at Arkansas. That's going to start 5 o'clock on Friday. East Carolina, Cliff Godwin. He's been to a super regional now 3 of the last 4 years as the head coach there. They've never been to Omaha, though, East Carolina, and it's going to be tough. They got to go to Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt's mortal, man. This isn't Vanderbilt from February and March. This is a Vanderbilt team that since the middle of April has not been playing as well as they could. And Cliff Godwin's team's got a chance there. East Carolina at Vandy on Friday. Stanford will take on at Texas Tech. That's a number 9 at a number 8. And then Ole Miss, a number 12, at number 5, Arizona. You think the ball flies in Oxford. The ball does fly in Tucson big time. So Ole Miss will take its home run stroke to Tucson. By the way, I watched the Arizona Regional when they clinched against the Gauchos, UC Santa Barbara. Tommy, I've been to that stadium, okay, in Tucson. This is an Arizona program that they were one of the blue bloods. I mean, when you talk about college baseball in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, Arizona is one of the blue bloods. I mean, they've got national championships. They got tons of College World Series appearances. They're playing to win an NCAA regional, and the stadium is a third full, maybe a half full. I mean, it's just disappointing. It's amazing how different college baseball is on the out west of Texas than what it is over here. I mean, you look at Arkansas and Ole Miss; those environments are going crazy. And then you look at Oregon. Remember, did you see down the line, Tommy, in a tie game or a one-run game when they showed the crowd for Oregon? I mean, they're all just sitting there, almost like they're watching the symphony. I mean, it's unbelievable how different it is. But look, I'm pulling for Mike Bianco and Ole Miss, but those are the series that start on Friday, NC State at Arkansas, East Carolina at Vanderbilt, Stanford at Texas Tech, and Ole Miss at Arizona. And then on Saturday, we know the series are South Florida at Texas. Boy, I was pulling for South Alabama to win that. They had a chance, bases loaded, 1 out, down a run in the 8th, and they couldn't get it done. Saturday will be Virginia at Old Dominion. I'm sorry, it'll be Dallas Baptist versus either Virginia or Old Dominion. Dallas Baptist, a surprise right there. I think they were a 3 seed. And let's see, LSU at Tennessee and Notre Dame at Mississippi State, which is a rematch of, I want to say Paul Mainieri went through Starkville when he was the head coach at Notre Dame to make it to the College World Series nearly 20 years ago. Well,
it's going to be exciting. Look, 6 teams
outside of the LSU regional, which is the one you're looking forward to the most, Tommy?
Wow. I'm probably looking forward to Arkansas. You know, I picked them to win the whole thing, and you know, I just think that's the best team in baseball. They got to go out there and play like them. Hey, Ronnie, 6 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the SEC West. There's a chance there's 5 teams in Omaha. The NCAA doesn't want that. Okay, they're cringing right now. And we know there'll be one because either LSU or Tennessee's going to go. But you know, we say it all the time. It's the best baseball conference in America. It's not even close. I'm looking forward to that Arkansas regional. I'm looking forward to Knoxville. I want to see what happens there. And, you know, in Mississippi State, you just kind of got to like that. You know, I looked it up yesterday. I was curious when I was watching Mississippi State play. Ronnie, they've never won the College World Series. You know, they've been 11 times, but they've never won. They've never, with all the great things Ron Polk did, they just never have won that. And, you know, every year they feel like it's their year. Notre Dame scored 50 runs this past weekend in 3 games. So that's going to be an exciting regional, too.
Dugas, you know, I'll give Paul Mainieri credit, man. He pumped up Dugas before the season. He said that he was going to have a great year, and he was 100% right. The young man from Houma Christian High School proves you don't have to go to a 5A school, was just unbelievable the last 48 hours.
Let me tell you this, okay? Gavin Dugas, I met him about 4 years ago. Taking hitting lessons from a local guy. I don't know if I can say his name. Fran Anderman, who was the one-time hitting coach at La Tech, real good friends with Kevin O'Sullivan. Fran, you know, I used to sit there at the Ascension Tiger Cage, and he was working with Gavin, and that's why I was doing a lot of pitching lessons there. And Fran told me, he says, this kid can hit a baseball. He's really, really good. He's got a short, powerful swing. And then I watched him for several years with Fran, and Fran does a great job as a hitting coach. Still Dugas' hitting coach, by the way. And, you know, so I'm not surprised to see him go. I know he had that injury to the thumb or something at Houma Christian. And, you know, he couldn't get it right, but that he has emerged at the right time. I'm not surprised to see him doing well based on the fact that I have a little history with him as an observer.
He was the MVP of the regional and deserved it. Dylan Cruz was fantastic. Didn't have a big game last night, but Dylan Cruz was great all weekend long, made the final out. It was good to see Cade Doty come through. He had a slow weekend. He had 3 hits last night for the Tigers.
I got a suggestion, Ronnie. I got a suggestion for Milazzo. You got to do like Barr. Put your feet almost on home plate. Crowd the heck of that plate. I mean, just as much as you can get in there, and maybe the guy will try not to hit you and walk you, or maybe he'll hit you. I mean, I was thinking of that last night, how Barb always known for doing that and get hit by a million pitches. Milazzo needs to institute that right away because he's out in the lineup. But you're right. Cruz was unbelievable. And I go back to what Todd Walker said on Sports Shows Daily a couple of weeks ago. It's a batting average. It's not how you did last night. It's how you do over a period of time. Cruz has been remarkable. You know, Trey Morgan hitting the ball. You know, they found a way to win, and that's what good teams do. Championship caliber teams find a way to win when you make a mistake or two. Most baseball games are lost, not won. LSU found a way to win.
What were you thinking at the end there, the decision to leave Marceau in versus go to Fontenot? What was your thought process through that?
My guess is Marceau said, "Coach, you're not taking me out of here. Don't take the ball from me. Let me either win this thing for you or let me screw it up for you. I want to be here." Because I was told he begged Maneri after the Sunday night game. He wanted to start last night's game. You know, I was told that by a solid source. He just kept saying, "Coach, you got to. I want it. I want it. I want it." So I think the bulldog in Marceau and Tigahs even said that after the game, called him a bulldog, and we've been calling him that all year. He just probably said, "Coach, go back in the dugout. You know, I got this. I'm going to get this done. You're going to get every ounce of effort I got." And I believe he talked Maneri into staying in the game. I think Maneri wanted to go to Fontenot.
Fontenot has not been good when he throws 3 days in a row. And Fontenot, for the most part, has been a one guy. Let him go 2 or 3 innings in a series. That's when he's been most successful. They stretched him for 2. It got a little hairy yesterday at the end. If the Oregon batter keeps the bat on his shoulders, he walks twice against Fontenot, and instead he strikes out to end the game with 2 runners on. I think that as long as Marceau is feeling healthy, as long as he's feeling good, and the velocity on the gun, which they have a radar gun in the stadium, they weren't showing the radar velocity scores on TV, which I don't understand why in this day and age, if you've got the technology and the guns working, show it. And they weren't, and of course the announcers can't know what the velocity is because they're not they're not there. They're watching from home. But the bottom line is that I think Marceau, with the breaking ball aspect and the command, and the fact that he's got better command than Fontenot does. Just look at the numbers as far as walks and things. I think when the season was on the line, when the game's on the line, you got a guy. Hey, I've got the more confidence in Marceau than I do in Fontenot, based on a year's worth of body of work. Based on Fontenot's now going to have to pitch 3 days in a row. They've already seen him yesterday, and I think at the end of the day, Paul Maneri said, "Hey, I'm up a run or 2. If Marceau can't get it done, I got to play more baseball. I might be tied having to go extra innings. I'll hold Fontenot to that." So I had no problem with it because I didn't have the ultimate confidence in Fontenot. I just know the 3 days in a row is tough. His control is tough. I would rather win and lose at the end there with Marceau because I think he's got 2 pitches versus Fontenot coming in basically just throwing a fastball.
Good point. So the old saying, you want to win or lose with your horse on the mound, with your ace on the mound. And, adrenaline's there, and I'm sure his arm's going to be a little sore today, tomorrow. I think Labus will go Saturday and then Marceau Sunday. We were talking about that earlier. But here's another thing we've kind of glanced over here, Ronnie, and I've always said the little things in baseball are really the big things. The balk play. Beloso's not going to steal. He's got 2 anchors dropped, not 1.
Well, it wasn't about that. It was about the.
Well, it was about the squeeze. Yeah. I get all that, but they screwed it up. When he kept throwing, I said they're about to screw this up. because he was lobbing the ball. I thought he was going to throw it away when Beloso was a foot off the bag, and then the run from third was going to go. I was thinking that. I know it was all about the squeeze button, and, it was Maneri putting it on. He said he took it off right before the balk, whatever. But, that's the little things that made a big difference in an important game.
Here's the thing, though, that was weird to me, Tommy, on that whole bunt, not bunt, throw over, not throw over thing. And that is, in that situation, with Thompson at the plate, Beloso at first, who's not a steal threat, and it's in a tie game right there where a tie game where you're trying to get that run in. What I don't understand is if I'm Oregon and I pick off the first 2 times he picked off, it was clear Thompson was bunting. Okay. Whether you 100% know he's bunting, Tommy, or not, you still have to treat it as if he's bunting because you have no tomorrow. This is the 8th inning. Like I got to play softball style. I got to have my third baseman 50 feet from home plate. I got to have my first baseman 50 feet from home plate, and I got to just hope and pray I'm guessing right. Because that's all you can do. Because whether he shows bunt, takes off bunt, shows bunt, takes off bunt. At some point it's, hey guys, it doesn't matter. We think he's bunting. They probably should bunt him. You got to just come. You got to just charge, and you got to do it. And I'm just surprised that they picked off a million times. Eventually, they balked because they weren't on the same page. But Tommy, you got to bunt. You have to play from a defensive side as if he's bunting, and just hope and pray that if he doesn't and he slashes or something, that he doesn't hit it right at the third baseman or something.
Well, and LSU being the home team, so you're right. You have to expect bunt. You got to play it like it's a bunt. I agree.
The LSU over the weekend. What's something else, Tommy, outside of the big guys, the Tigahs, the Cruz, the Morgans? What's something that stood out for you that you think is going to carry over in a good way to Tennessee?
Bianco. I think that the contribution that Bianco has made to this team, whatever it was, I go play center field, put him on the bench last Friday, which was a mistake. I just think, Bianco's been a much better baseball player in the last 4 or 5 weeks than he was the first part of the season. So I think that, maybe he's that guy that'll pull the Blair Barbier and go, get in somebody's face and say, look, we got to win 2 more games and we're going to Omaha. And, I take that from it. Jordan Thompson, he kicked a few balls, but he comes right back and makes a play after that. So, it was a team effort. It's not that one guy that stood out, although Tigahs, had the bombs, and Cruz was ended up 10 for 20 or something in the regional. It was a team effort, pitching and hitting. They got it done. I think it's a team thing, maybe more than some years. There's no Todd Walker, or anything like that.
He's Tommy Krysan over at Court Street Cafe. One last thought, final thought here on the NCAA Regional. Congratulations to Zach Arnold. What a thrill it had to be for him. This is a guy who signed with Oregon. They changed coaches. He ended up at LSU. He made the all-tournament team with DiGiacomo having another hand. I don't know if his hamstring made out of beef jerky. I don't know what's going on, but this guy pulls it on the weekly. With Bianco's emergence, heck, just leave Bianco in center and play Arnold at second base. That's your best offensive out, at this point. But we'll see what happens to Giacomo. Clearly, if he's healthy, he'll play. Thompson made the all-tournament team. Probably didn't deserve to, but I guess nobody else did anything at shortstop on the other teams. Tigahs MVP, Cruz all-tournament team. Morgan was great throughout. It was a fantastic, just gutty performance by a team who has not shown a lot of life, has shown not a lot of guts throughout the year. They string 4 in a row together, which they really haven't done against quality competition all year long. So hopefully they carry that momentum and the Pulmonary dream continues. P-Money magic is a real living, breathing thing. For Tommy Krysan, I'm Ronnie Rantz. TK, before we go, tell us about Court Street Cafe.
Well, they got the lunch specials, the dinner specials this Friday night, boiled shrimp and boiled Dungeness crab. That's every Friday. You don't want to miss that. They change up their lunch specials, dinner specials. It's not the same thing. So they got a menu printed up. You need to check it out. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. Court Street Cafe, Jason and Chancey and the staff here do a great job. 805 Court Street in Port Allen, 2 minutes after you get over the bridge, and you can be on the patio in the little bar area right behind me. Court Street Cafe, they got a lot to offer here. We want you to check it out real soon, and we appreciate being here as always, and we'll be back next week. And we always post and let people know we're going to be here because the schedule in the summertime bounces around a little bit. But do check out Court Street Cafe as soon as you can.
By the way, LSU will play Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. No game Friday night. I know a lot of people thought the series was going to start Friday night, so therefore no Friday night. Head on out to Goldsby Field, the home of that, right over there by the Capitol, because the Baton Rouge Rougarou have their opening night this Friday night, 7 o'clock. The Woodbat Texas Collegiate League team, owned by Ricky Van Asselberg. They're doing a great job. They get a lot of their players back this week. They got Ben McDonald's son, Chase, on there, who pitched for the national champion LSU Unis squad. Some other players joining them. Kyle Cranford's going to be playing for the Rougarou as well at second base, and some others. Good summer baseball this Friday night, 7 p.m. opening night. I'll be there for opening night, so come on out to Goldsby Field and check them out and give them a follow. For Tommy Krysan, I'm Ronnie Rantz. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts Daily Thursday from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Until then, have a good one. Go Tigers. P-Money's 1,500 plus